Hello guys, today we got a 2014 Nissan Sentra. We're going to be replacing these discs here, that goes here, and brake pads. So you're going to see me throughout the whole process that I'm going to do the whole job completely. And I am going to show you the tools and the specs, torque specs, and also part number on these parts that I got, alright? So, I am halfway done even though I'm making this intro, but let's get this going. So let's start off by looking at what we're going to be doing here. So if we're going to remove all this caliper out, to remove this caliper, we need to remove this 14 here. Do not remove the top one because you can lift the caliper and slide it out. Also, there's a number 19 in the back here, and there's one up here. Where is it? Right there. Alright, so those are the two 19s for the bracket, and the bracket will come off. And we will put a new disc on, clean the hub. Alright, the new hardware, it comes with it. If it comes with the brakes, I'm going to give you torque specs on these bolts right here and those number 19s. But you do need a few tools. You're going to go through tools together as we go along. So to begin this job, if you left the key in the ignition, you should be able to be careful. Sometimes the rotors are hot. This is hot. So you could grab it from here or the tie rod here and you can simply just turn it, right? Then you're going to have more access to these bolts right here. So I'm going to go get 14. This is a 14 millimeter right here. We're going to remove that first. Okay, so got the 14 here, and all you're gonna do is you're gonna go counterclockwise, and you're gonna remove that. That's a 14 right there. After that, you could yank this caliper up. Sometimes it won't come out. You could use a flathead screwdriver and just pull it out from right here with the flathead or pry bar or screwdriver, and this should slide right out. Take off your brake pads. So the reason why I'm changing this one is because the discs are warped and the car vibrates as soon as you press the brake, it shakes, the whole car shakes. Alright, so we need to remove 19 and 19 here. Alright, make sure your sliding pins move clearly like that. So I'm gonna get an impact gun because these are gonna be really tight. So you're gonna have to use some kind of leverage with a long ratchet or wrench. Impact gun, if you have it, that should work really good. Okay, so got my impact gun here. That's one. Sometimes these bolts are really tight, they won't come out, and just don't break them. All right, you see how I'm losing this all the way? If I try to remove that one, it's gonna probably hit me in the face. So try to put this one a little bit back in, all right, because this is gonna try to come out. These bolts are super tight. Okay, so you got this little guy out and this little guy out, and the bracket comes right out. And the disc right here, sometimes you have to hit it with the hammer, but this is pretty loose. If you need to hit it, take it right off, just like so. All right, look at the condition of this, not looking so good. All right, so next step is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a wire brush. I'm gonna clean this, just buff it down as much as you can. Okay, so get a wire brush. Doesn't have to be shiny, just this rust, dirt, debris will cause it for the rotor to not sit straight, and it will cause the car to shake. If the surface is uneven, the disc is gonna set uneven, brake pads, everything's gonna be uneven. All right, so that's all you need to do. If it looks really terrible, then you need to get some power tools and buff it down really good. But after this, just put a little bit of lube. Very simple. Doesn't have to be a lot. And there we have it. All right, the next step is brake pads. Sometimes I like to make a decision. Are we gonna replace the hardware kit? But sometimes this hardware kit looks so good, you do not need to replace it, all right? Because the pads that comes with it is not the perfect, all right? And this looks still shiny, so I'm not even gonna bother. If you want to replace it, you can. A lot of people will send me a message, but it's all about your experience, all right? How you feel about it. Also, take this off, remove that, Alright, let me put this down. Clean this up. Notice this one got like a little rubber boot. So, take a little bit of lube. You don't have to put a lot. Let me get a little bit more. Alright, lube on this pin. And notice this came off from the bottom, alright? So this pin goes in the bottom. What we're gonna do next is, you see this little guy right here? I'm gonna clean this off. And I'm gonna lubricate this. Also, try to clean the caliper boot over here. Because we're gonna compress that. All that dust, you don't want it to go in. It's not gonna do any harm, but still, try not to have that in there. A little bit of lube on this. And this is all prepped. So one more step we're gonna do. We still have to wait for the brake pads and rotors. Let me see if I can switch up my camera a little bit higher. That looks good. Alright, so I am gonna take an old brake pad, put it right there, and we're gonna compress that piston. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, if you have a C-clamp or a tool such as this, you're gonna take this little guy and you're gonna compress the piston back. It should go in nicely and easily. Should not be hard to push that piston back. What happened there was I think this little sensor got it to stuck. But there you go. It's in. We have to wait for the new brake pads and rotors, and we'll clean the disc and put the disc in and tighten everything. And I am gonna give you torque specs at the end of the video. Okay, so what we need to do first is, let me give you a part number before anything. There's the part number on the disc, and there's the part number on the brake pads, and I'm using the Evolutions here. All right, and these are regular rotors. So what we're gonna do is, you're gonna need a brake cleaner. Clean this with the rag, because this does have a greasing on it. You don't want that brake to slip and slide. All right, for both discs you're gonna do, and you're gonna do both sides. Very simple. All right, there you have it. And we're gonna take this onto the car. Okay, so we got our new disc. So the disc goes just like so. If you like, you could use one of these lug nuts, and they will hold this disc for you in place. All right, just like that. And if you want to use one in the bottom, you can use one in the bottom. This one's open-ended here, so this goes all the way through, and it will hold the disc for you in spot. There you go. All right, so we're gonna take our bracket and put the bracket on. Okay, so first step here is, we're gonna take our bracket, and you're gonna take the two 19mm bolts that we had. Make sure you attach the threads, top and bottom. After that, we're gonna tighten these. At the end of the video, I'm gonna give you the torque specs. So there you have it. I'm gonna tighten these, and then I'm gonna come back. Make sure you tighten yours properly. You need a torque step. Just wait till the end of the video. You'll get those specs. All right. So next step is, we're gonna put the brake pads in. Notice these brake pads gonna have these little rear indicator sensors here. So let me show you the one on the outside. All right. So you take this pad, you stick it in, but you do need to grab it with this little guy right here, because it's gonna work like a spring for your brake pads. So if you do not get that in, it's not gonna work like a spring. All right, there you go. And your brake pads should go in nicely, easily. You should not have to force your brake pads, all right? So this brake pad will not go on properly because the sensor goes in the bottom. And this one is gonna have to match it up, all right? So same thing, in the back you also have another sensor similar. So you just grab onto it, and you take the brake pad, and it goes on smoothly, just like that. So I'm gonna get this phone, and I'm gonna come back. Alright, so do subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to share and like all of my videos, because we are pretty much done here to the end. After this, I'm gonna show you the torque specs on everything. So another thing is, we did compress the piston. Make sure the line is not twisted, alright? So if I put it like that, that'd be no good. So you put it back in the same spot, Make sure the line is nice and smooth. All right. Bada bing, bada boom. Take your number 14, and you're gonna have to twist this around a little bit to get this in place. And there you have it. All right, I'm gonna tighten this. Right now I'm gonna snug it, then I'm gonna torque it, then we'll take our camera to the computer, and I am gonna show you all the torque specs. So this is lightly tightened, and we're gonna go ahead and go to the computer. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like, and give it a thumbs up. Let me just show you up close and personal how this looks. There you go. So bye-bye. Okay, so the 2 bolts on the bracket are 122 foot-pound, and 2 on the caliper are 20 foot LB right there. All right, so that's what I did. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to pump that brake pedal, and don't forget to subscribe and share and like. If you guys need any type of specs, send me a message, and bye-bye.